Hello, quick update on how the last few days have gone after my really long run. The run was on Wednesday. I think I spoke to you on Thursday about the fact that I was in pain, but then Friday morning, it was gone. It was like nothing was there. There was not even a semblance of pain. And then yesterday, Saturday, was mostly okay. There was ever so slightly a twinge, but like really minimal. And aside from that, it's been fine, and same again today. So, as you can maybe guess, I'm gonna go for a run. I feel like I've got less time this coming week to run, and so I'd rather just run today so that at least I've done something. And then if I can run again, in the course of the week, great. If not, at least I've done something today. In my ideal world, I'll do 16 kilometers today. In a secondary ideal world, I would do 10 kilometers without stopping today. In a realistic world, we're gonna see how I feel, both in terms of my knee and just in general. And if I can just get out there, I'll be happy. I would like to get to 7 again without stopping though. I feel like I need to not lose that, and I only need to build on that, but I definitely can't go backwards. That's how I feel. It is quite warm and sunny. It was raining earlier and I was thrilled about that, but now it's completely dried up. So I have put on some sun cream. I'm not thrilled about running in the sun, as I've mentioned many a time, but we're just gonna do what we can and see where we go, see how we end up. I don't know. So it's about 4:15 now. I'm gonna try and warm up for a bit, get myself ready to go, and I will see you all probably at the end. Wish me luck.
I got to 5 and had to stop. It was just too hot. And then when I tried to start running again, my knee was very sore. So I've decided to just walk instead. I'm currently just over 6. I think I'm gonna try and walk to 10. I think that's my goal, and hopefully we'll be okay. I'll let you know at the end.
Hello. I am very sore, quite hot, but not particularly tired. And I find the combination of those three things very annoying. But we will talk more in a little while. I'm gonna cool down, as always. Hello. So this run was not great. And it is 100% because of the sun. 100%. It wasn't even crazy hot. It was 23 degrees. There was a slight breeze at times. And when the breeze hit or when I was in the shade, not a problem. It was when I was in the sun. I was doing okay for the most part. I actually started off quite strong and I felt like, okay, I'm gonna be able to get to 7, probably further. Great. I did think 16 seems far, but I know how it goes with me usually. If I don't think about the distance, then I'm okay. But I got to around 4 and I was already like, I'm not having a great time with this. And then during the 5th, before I hit kilometer 5, first of all, where I was quite busy because I was in a park and it was just very busy. But that wasn't the problem. There was just very little shade. And at that point, there was no breeze. And I could feel the heat of the sun on my skin, and I could feel the way it was affecting me physically. And even pushing to 5 felt like a struggle, but I was like, no, I need to at least get to 5. And then I stopped. And I said to myself, like, I can just stop and walk for a little bit and then, run the rest, or not the rest, but run a bit more. But I think I mentioned when I did my last long run, after that 7 kilometer mark, when I stopped to walk, that was when the pain started in my knee. And the same thing happened this time. So I thought, right, I'll walk a little bit more than I feel I need to, just to see, feel it out. And then I tried to do a little bit of running, literally probably about 300 meters, and I was just in pain. And I was like, A, I'm gonna struggle to keep running, but B, it's probably not a good idea. I should try and listen to my body. So at that point, I was probably about 1.5 kilometers away from home. And I kind of thought to myself, I should just head home. And then, as I mentioned, I changed my mind and I was like, no, I'm still going to do 10. I'm just going to walk the second half. I think in those last 5 kilometers, I had 1 or 2 bursts of running and that was it. There was an attempted third one because step 1 from Kinky Boots was playing and I was like, oh, this is such a drive. I need to run. And I went faster than my normal pace. And within seconds, my knee was throbbing like nothing else. So I thought, right, better stop and again, listen to the body. So look, it was not the run I wanted to do. When I went out, I knew I might be pushing myself too much. I know you're only meant to do 1 long run a week, really. But I just want to get back. But I'm glad I made the decision that I did. I feel like I'm hoping long term that will pay off better than if I'd pushed through. And in the end, it was an hour 26, which yes, obviously is longer than any other 10K I've done so far, but it still doesn't feel crazy to me. At least it's not, 2 hours or something. Yeah, my average pace was 8:18, so not crazy. Wow, you can really see the immediate change. I'm averaging around 7 or 7:05 for the first 5 kilometers, and then I'm averaging around between 9:12 and 9:59 for the next 5. Once again, there you go. You can see for yourself all the details, the data, all that jazz. So look, was it perfect? No. Was it what I wanted to do? No. Did I get out there and do something? Yes. Did I run 5 kilometers without stopping? Yes. Did I end up doing 10 kilometers? Yes. And again, the fact that I can just do that, even though I did walk the last 5, if you told me like 6 months ago that I was just gonna do a 10k, you know, with even if it takes longer, there's just no way. So I'm gonna take the wins, and you know, the things I couldn't do, I'm hoping by having done what I did today, I will still be able to continue my training over the next couple of weeks. I kept thinking we were at the 6-week mark today, but it turns out we're at the 7-week mark. So that's quite nice that I've got an extra week just to, you know, have more time. So hopefully in the next week, we will come back even stronger. I'm going to obviously ice my leg now and rest it and be careful with it and listen to it. But I'm hoping this is just like a minor setback and then we can push through. But it is interesting to me that really the trick to not having the injury during my run is to just keep running and not stop to walk, which obviously is tough. And also, I don't know if that's true, because maybe 20 kilometers worth of running still will cause the injury to hurt. So we're just gonna see what happens. We're gonna figure it out, but I will keep documenting it all the way up until race day itself. So stick around. And again, if you are able to donate anything, the link is going to be below. I'm not doing this for fun. I am doing this for a good cause. And I'm doing it in honor of my cousin who passed away a couple of years ago. So any donations would just be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Have a lovely week. And I will see you all soon, I'm sure. Until then. Hello. So pain has been sore today, but not unbearable. And it's noticeably got less sore as the day's gone on, which usually so far I found the day after a run, that whole day is as bad, and then the next morning it's more or less gone. But today I'm literally noticing sort of as the day goes on that it's less sore. I did spend this morning trying to find a list of exercises that I can do to help strengthen and recover, and I've literally just spent the last 15 minutes doing that list. And I feel quite tired, but it does feel good. Like, it did hurt a little, but I can definitely feel that things are engaging. I don't know if it's the right things, but definitely I'm working out, which I think is really important. And I really think I need to be strict with myself about trying to do that basically every day if I can. Because I'm definitely getting more nervous about not making this a long-term injury, and also not making it so bad that by the time I get to the half marathon day, I'm unable to run. So we just want to be careful. Also, like, a lot of the websites I was looking up, and I knew this from the other day as well, and I just completely ignored the advice. They all say, even if you do choose to continue running, which some of them have said is okay to do, reduce your load. And what have I been doing? I have been pushing my load. I've done over 30 kilometers this week, or last. So I really need to, even if I feel that I can do something, I just need to be careful with what I'm doing. I think if we can get like a 5k in and then a long run, that hopefully will be enough, and hopefully won't hurt me too much. We'll see how this goes, but I'm glad I've got some like actionable steps rather than just resting. That being said, I am now gonna sit and ice it for a little bit until I hear from Wayne. That means nothing to you, it's unrelated, but that's my timeline. I will let you know how I'm feeling tomorrow and sort of how the rest of the week goes, but I just wanted to give that update because I'm doing something that's related to the running even though it's not running. There you go. I'll see you soon. Hello. My knee has been mostly fine today, so it really is that 36-hour mark. It's 2 nights sleep. It was slightly more twingy than usual. Definitely not major, like a 1 out of 10 in terms of pain. Really dull. But there was a 1 as opposed to a 0, which it usually is. I have just done the exercises again. I was wondering if maybe that's why it was more sore today. Maybe just the fact that I used them. But I've done it again today, and I'm just hoping if I keep doing it that I'll at least strengthen the muscle and therefore reduce injury. We'll see, but I just wanted to update you on that. Yay. Sam's inspired me to go for a run. The lighting is terrible. So we're gonna go out. I'm not familiar with roads like this, where Sam thankfully is. So she's going to lead me and I'm going to follow. I think that Sam's quicker than me, so I said I might like leave early, or she might push me, or both. So we'll see. But at least I'm going out, and that's a win, because I really wasn't. I honestly wasn't planning on going for a run at all, like until I get back to London. So yay, and then Katie and Rebecca's gonna chill and just enjoy the rest.
I'm gonna read.
And read. So, wish us luck. Oh, I'm zoomed in.
Making some friends on our run, having a great time. Sam's way ahead of me already, and the cows are there. Yay! Sam thought it was a good idea to run up this hill. Raquel disagrees. I'm very shaky, but look at that view. We did it! And we're exhausted and sweaty and hot, but we did it.
All these puppies came to surprise us after our run. We didn't even have time to stretch. Yes. So cute. Yeah. Watch them figure it out. Hello. So let's have a look at this run. I think it was my 52nd, but we'll find out. We did 7.4 kilometers according to me. Elevation was 336 meters. I don't know what that is in feet, but that's like double what I usually do. Now mine says my average tempo was 7:29, but my average, and then it's got the letters VTT, and I'm not sure what that means, is 6:45. That's way quicker. I've never seen that one before, so I don't know. Right, let's have a look. Oh, you can see when we went up that really big hill, because I've got 2 kilometers where it was like each kilometer was 9 minutes per kilometer. Everything else was like between 6:16 and 7:20.
Those downhills.
The last 400 meters we did fast. The last 400 meters were 5:51. We were flying. Look at us go. Can you read that? That's the graph. We did take it slow on the hills because it is hilly in Wales and we were struggling. But overall, we did almost an hour, which I'm pretty pleased with. I wasn't expecting to do anything today, and then Sam dragged me out. And do you know what? No, that's not true. I was like, Sam was sat there. Sam was sat there for ages, and I was like, in my head, can I ask if I can join? Can I ask if I can? And eventually I was like, do you mind if I join? Sam was like, of course. So I joined. And I'm glad I did, but I'm tired. It was fun. And I feel that I said this to Sam. I feel like I wish I could keep her because like I feel she set such a good pace for me, because I like 5:51 in the last 400 meters I would never do.
And it was flat. That wasn't like going downhill or anything.
No, it wasn't going downhill, and it was flat, and it didn't feel too hard for me. Like at one point I was like, right, I could slow down, but because you were doing it, I didn't slow down. And I feel like that would be really useful to have for the next 6 weeks, but I guess I'll do it without you. But I am exhausted now, and I'm sure I'm going to be in pain tomorrow, so...
But we got to see puppies.
We got to see puppies. It was the best. I was like, if this is my reward after every run, I would be running a lot more. So yeah, all felt good, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how I feel tomorrow. And I don't think I'll be running again until I get back to London, but we shall see, and I will let you know. Yay. Good morning. We are hoping to go for a 16-kilometer run today, and that should take me just over 2 hours based off my last long run, which was 15 kilometers in 2 hours. And I need to get going because I have work in a couple of hours, and so I want to allow enough time to get back, shower, change, eat, all that before going to work. I didn't have much motivation. I feel a little bit more motivated now that I'm dressed, but I'm still a bit... Again, it's just the time and the distance. If it was less long, I wouldn't be so worried. But as always, I just need to get out there, and then once I'm out, hopefully it'll be okay. I'm nervous as always about the IT band. We will see how it goes. My stomach's also been feeling a little bit funny this morning, so that is concerning because that can definitely disrupt my run. But I'm just gonna go out there, do my best, because I am getting nervous. It is now just over a month until the half marathon, and I don't feel ready at all. I mean, in my head, I know that I did a 15-kilometer run, 2 weeks ago, so theoretically, an extra 6 kilometers should be doable, but I'm just nervous. I am nervous. I'm actually gonna see if I can do 17 today. We'll see. That will depend a little bit on time and how I'm feeling, but if I can bump it up that little bit more, that would be very helpful. I'm also worried just about the route because, like, I don't have a good 15-kilometer distance near me, and so I'm just gonna be doing circles again, which I have done a number of times, but I just... It doesn't motivate me as much. It makes me want to walk more, which obviously is not good. So we're gonna do what we can, run for as long as we can, and see where we get. I would love it if I can get to 10 kilometers without stopping, but I'm not holding my breath. But it would be good to get to that stage before the half marathon. That should be a focus, I think. 10 kilometers without stopping, so that on the day I can do 13 kilometers without stopping, which is to Tower Bridge, and then I can walk the rest if necessary. I feel like maybe that's what we should be focusing on. But I'm gonna warm up, and then I'm gonna go, and then hopefully be back on time. But I probably won't talk to you much after because I will be in a rush. Wish me luck!
I've gone way further than I usually do, and I've ended up in a park, which is quite nice, and it's raining. I've been really struggling, but with the rain, that's definitely helped me a little bit, so we're doing our best. We're not even halfway, so it's a long one, but we're doing what we can.
Hello. I am sore, I am hot, and I've also come in a bit later than I wanted to, which means I've got about 45 minutes. So I don't think I'm going to shower. I think I will do that after work, but I am going to eat and obviously stretch as well and drink some water, and then I'll talk to you much later, sorry. Oh, hello. It is the next day. Let's talk about this run. I ended up doing just under 17.5 kilometers. And I do feel like I could have walked another 4. It would not be the performance that I want to give on my half marathon day. I would be probably quite disappointed if that's all I do, but I can do it. I was struggling with running quite early on, and even getting to 5k was a struggle, and I just about made it and then walked. Which is so frustrating because obviously I went into it really hoping to push my continuous running, and it's just, it wasn't happening. My legs and physically I mostly felt really good, and I did feel like I could go further, but my lungs / chest / heart, I don't really know what it was, just felt so, I don't know if tight's the right word, but really struggling. And I don't know why, but it's very frustrating. And I even set off slow, I purposely started slow so that I could try and run further for longer. But obviously it wasn't happening. I was hoping it would be okay temperature to run in. It was saying about 22 degrees and cloudy, so I thought perfect. I had put on sun cream, but I had not accounted for humidity, and it was humid. Not the worst we've had. We've had significantly worse in the last few weeks, but still not as cool as I would have liked it to be. And then at some point during my run, I think I filmed a clip at that point, it started to rain, and I was like, this is wonderful. And then not too long after, the sun came out and it was really bright and sunny, and to the point where I felt I was burning. And then by the end of the run, it was raining again and humid again. So who knows what was going on with the weather. I did try to run sort of as much as possible after the 5 kilometers. I often find that once I've stopped to walk, I then get it in my head that I should just walk. Not even should, I know that I have the excuse of stopping, and so I run less. And I was really trying to make a conscious effort of running as much as possible. However, once I got to, I would say around 9-10 kilometers, my knee really started acting up. It was actually mostly fine for the first 8 or 9 kilometers, but then it was starting to twinge, and then the twinge became worse, and I probably shouldn't even have pushed as much as I did, but it was very sore in the last few kilometers. I think I only walked because, again, it was just so painful to run, and it's such a hard balance. I've spoken about this a number of times. I don't know the balance yet of, and I probably won't until the half marathon, of pushing myself so that I'm going to be ready to do this half marathon, but also protecting myself so that I don't hurt my knee too much and injure myself too much that I'm not even able to get to the start line. And by the time I got home, I did think maybe I've pushed myself too far too early on. And my knee was very sore all of yesterday. We did go to the movies, and so I was sort of sat in one position where I couldn't stretch my leg or anything, and I really don't think that helped. And then also last night, while I was sleeping, I was just in a lot of pain and very uncomfortable and trying to toss and turn and deciding whether or not to bend it or keep it straight. It was really an uncomfortable night. But I feel as today has gone on, I've really felt the pain not fully subside, but certainly diminish to the point where it's not really hurting me very much now. I will still ice it tonight, but actually I feel it was so painful last night and even this morning, and I was so concerned. And there was even a bruise. I've not had a bruise yet. I was like, whoa, that's so cool. Which I know I shouldn't be admiring. I know it's a bad thing, it's a bad sign, but I was very concerned that this was gonna take me out completely. But I do feel it's mostly faded now, which is great because we're now around the 24-hour mark. Well, just over. But I do get the impression that by tomorrow morning I should be okay, which I wasn't really expecting. Usually that is how it's been. I know I've repeated this a number of times. Usually after 2 nights sleep, it seems to be fine. But because of how bad the pain was, I thought this is going to be a longer one. And I'm kind of now starting to think, no, maybe it will be okay by tomorrow morning, which would be good. And I'm just trying to figure out what my running plan is for the next while, well, for the next 5 weeks, because it's hard to determine what I need and what my body needs and what I mentally need. Again, it does feel really good having done today and that 15k that I did, because I really do feel like I am going to get to the finish line one way or another. And I'm pretty sure the time limit is 4 hours, and I'm fairly certain I'll be okay unless I can't even start running. But it's just going to be about how to look after myself and get to the start line and get to the finish line. I think earlier on I mentioned 2.5 hours as like my number one goal. That's completely out the window. We're not counting that. I think even 3 hours is a stretch at the moment. But 3 hours, I think, is my new number one goal. And then number two is literally just to get over the finish line. Even running to Tower Bridge, we'll see. I really, really hope I can. And I'm hoping that, you know, the energy and the adrenaline from the day will help me. But I'm not feeling too positive at the moment. I do still have 5 weeks. I do still have time. But again, it's going to be about balancing, you know, pushing myself enough now, but also not too much. Let's have a quick look at the breakdown. We'll see. I know that I'm disappointed in this run, but I also know I need to be aware and mindful of my body. And also, I did it. You know, I still went out there for, I think, almost 2.5 hours, pushing it with work. Oh my gosh, did this not save? I'm gonna be very, very upset if this did not save. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I know that I did it, but come on. Oh, okay, it's found it. Whew, don't do that to me. Like, also the fact that I did it before work and squeezed it in, even though it was such a long run. I'm so proud of myself for that. Also, as I mentioned, I ended up at this really random park, but actually I think if I do continue to do long runs, which I am hoping to over the next few weeks, I think that park could be fantastic because it's significantly bigger. It's definitely not flat, but it's less hilly than anything sort of near where I am. And obviously it already takes some time to get there. I don't even know if I'll find it back. I know approximately which road I went down, where I went differently to begin with, but then I don't know how else I went different. But I think if I can do that, that would be the best. I've got my fastest 10 miles, but I'm wondering if this is the first time I've done 10 miles. I think that's about 16 kilometers, which I didn't do last time. Yeah, 16.09. My average tempo was 8:22, so definitely significantly slower. But considering how much I walked, I'm actually surprised by that. I thought it would be slower. And I did 17.43 kilometers with a 122 meter inclination. And I don't know if I told you this. I think I told people in person, but I don't think I told you guys. I discovered, because of the run I did with Sam last week, that all the runs, everything I've done ever, I think, has been more hilly than what my half marathon will be. And that feels good. Admittedly, I do walk up a lot of hills, but still knowing that feels good. I'm pushing myself further than the half marathon will in terms of height. So I did my fastest 10 miles and my second fastest 15K. Who's surprised? There's so many things. So yeah, even for the first 5 kilometers, I was so slow. Like, my average for the first 5 is about 7:30. And then it just jumps around. Like, the 8th kilometer is again around 7:28, so I don't know how that happened. The 11th is around 7:54. I do think a few times I used music, definitely, as in I need to get to the end of this song. And a few times I used the distance to be like, no, I need to get to the 12 kilometer mark or the 11 kilometer mark, and then I will stop. Oh, it's hard to get this all in frame. But there you go, have a look at all the details. Yay. Yeah, even my very fastest split was 7:20. Like, it was slow. But you know what? We did it. I did it. And again, well, there's nothing more to say. I've said everything I feel I need to, and we're just gonna see how we continue from here. I do think this will be the end of this video, so once again, just a reminder that I am not doing this for fun. I am fundraising for a very important charity on behalf of a family member who very sadly passed away a few years ago. So if you have any pennies or euros or dollars to spare, there's a link down below. Any donations, even, $1 or £1 would be greatly appreciated. So please check out the link below, and I will see you all hopefully in a few weeks with another update. All right, bye.